Hi there, I'm Construction Gamer and this is the UK Northern Powerhouse on Transport Fever 2. This is going to be episode number 52 in the series, and in this episode we're going to head over towards Gainsborough and Retford in order to get a line across from Gainsborough to Retford. I'm not sure if we're going to get the whole thing done, but I need to build Retford station with the higher and the low level platforms in place in order to get a service across from Gainsborough Central to Sheffield. I'm not sure if there's a Lincoln Gainsborough Lee Road into Sheffield as well, but yeah, it does relies heavily on Retford, so that's going to have to be rebuilt. We're currently at Goole on this northern service from Hull, again going to Sheffield. I've put on some 170s because I'm pretty sure this is a Northern Connect service, so it uses their more high quality rolling stock on those services. So yeah, that's in place now. That's not carrying a huge amount of people. I would have thought it would have done a lot better considering, you know, Goole needed that rail connection. But yeah, I think with most of these things it is what it is. I've got 4 units on there, and I think it's about a 6-minute frequency, which is a pretty much standard Hull to Sheffield. Yeah, pretty much 5 to 6 minute share frequency is what I'd sort of aim for, other than the first Hull to Grantham, which is an 8-minute frequency. But I think there's only a couple of return trips per day, isn't there, from London down from Hull down to King's Cross. So where we're aiming today is for Retford. Now Retford is quite an interesting station. Just taking a quick look, doing a little bit of research, and it's a little bit of seems like a weird station to me. It's got like a platform across the way. It's the platform faces don't face each other, or the platform edges don't face each other, and it is orientated wrong as well. Retford should be like over here, but I think what I'll do, I might demolish a little bit of Retford and then build some new roads here and maybe try and encourage the development to switch sides. But actually I think I'm going to have to get rid of the bus stop. I'm going to have to get rid of this road here to begin with anyway. I think I'm just going to get the paint tool and just get rid of this for now, and I think I will just configure this in place maybe. Now I'm going to have to delete the tracks in anyway. Now there is a connection from this track which is going to run east-west, but I don't think we need it because we are going to put the low-level platforms in as well. Now Retford's a little bit funny because the low-level platforms, even though they're all the way over here somewhere, it is just Retford station. I guess it's a bit like Shotton, which is just one station, even though the platforms are quite far from one another. But what we need to do is completely destroy all this and rebuild it completely. So it is going to have some bypass platforms on it. So yeah, I'll show you what I mean in a minute anyway, with regards to being a little bit of a strange station. So as far as I can make out, it's got 2 bypass tracks, which obviously, yeah, we've still got all of those. So we've got a set of 3 tracks like that, I think. Oh no, we're going to have to, actually that's one thing that I've been wanting to do for quite a while is replace all of these. Because I've got the third rail tracks in, it replaces the high speed track with catenary, so I'm going to have to replace the high speed tracks with the standard tracks along here. Ooh, that's gone a bit loud. So yeah, standard slow speed tracks are going to have to be put in place. I do have, I know you can see it on some of the journeys, some of the stations still have the high speed tracks with catenary, so it just turns them into third rail tracks, so it looks a bit weird as you're pulling in some stations. But yeah, we've got 3 tracks here, so we've got bypass tracks and then we've got platforms. I think we will go with red down here. So this is where it's a little bit odd, because these platforms here that I'm putting in, there is actually no platform face on this track, although it's representing it here. I don't think there's any way I can really kind of reflect that other than making sure that trains only call on this platform. So we've got the tracks here, and then it's going to have to be standard with catenary down there. So we've got this track here is where the platform edge is. A little bit sort of a strange arrangement, I'm not quite sure why it's like that, but that's the way it is as far as I can tell anyway. And then passenger building doesn't really matter. It's, again, I don't think it's anything particularly special, but I think it's quite a long, thin building if you get what I mean, like that. I think it's in a more of a yellowy sort of colour, but not to worry too much. So that's in there, and then we just want some shelters now. Let's just, can't tell, I think there is maybe a little bit of a shelter on the other platform, but nothing really substantial. So pass misc, is it misc? No, it is, what is it? What am I looking for? That's what I'm looking for. So a couple of ones down there like that, and then I think I'll just have 2 in the middle, and then we need platforms again. We need an underpass, don't we? Which this does actually have this time. It does actually have an underpass, I think, as far as I can make out, to get from that platform to this one. It's a shame you can't put walls along here. There's like a fence along this side. I guess it's to separate people, because these 2 tracks are just going to be, well, they normally would be the bypass tracks for the high speed services, which are non-stop. So we've got Retford in place. We need to do a lot of rebuilding. Now what we're going to have to do quite a lot of demolition, unfortunately. I don't like doing too much. I know I do quite a lot of demolition, but I don't tend to like doing too much of it if I can help it, just because sometimes if you demolish too much, it does stop the actual place from actually growing anymore, which is a bit of a problem. Building size, we'll have it red. Yeah, it's definitely got 2 tracks. 160 I think is long enough, and this is going to have to be underground. Well, not underground, but within the ground. I don't think this wants passenger buildings. So can I put that in there, and then if we see if, we'll just double check that this is high enough. So this is not electrified. Catenary, no. Tunnel, no. Don't think. I think it's just a bridge. And then we'll try and get this over here like that. And let's just take a quick look actually where the tracks, they all come in. So I think if we crossed Retford low level on a girder bridge, something like that. So we get all of these tracks. So we'll have these 2 as the main line, and we'll try and maintain that 125 speed. Actually, I think just after the bridge, keep the bridge straight, and then see if we can curve that in and maintain a decent speed. I know because we've got slower speed, 75 miles per hour top speed, bypass tracks, it is going to slow down a little bit, but if we can try and maintain a little bit of speed in and out, then that's all the better really. So connect that into there. Yeah, that's all fine. Trains will have to slow down on the bypass tracks, but that's not an issue. At least stopping services won't be holding up the straight through services. And then we'll have a little bit of track in and out, and then we want some high speed. That's as quick as it's going to let us have it. Is it 82, I suppose? I mean, the trains are going to be slowing down, and I do have the mod which makes the trains slow down a bit more realistically as well, so they will be slowing down earlier. So bring that in to about there. Try and make that sure that's nice and even, and then just bring those in again with this. I'm pretty sure you can get higher speeds than that. Yeah, 190 miles per hour turnout, that's a bit better. It helps if you try and start the switch from on the actual track itself, I find, so that's a lot better. That's all fine. Is that no, that hasn't got a catenary, has it? So we need to yeah, we made that mistake in the last episode of leaving a section of a catenary out, and it messed up all my train services, which is not ideal. So make sure we do the electrification before we unpause the game, and then hopefully trains won't feel inclined to go into turn to bay platforms and then get stuck. So one-way signals. So if I put a signal, yeah, I think I'm going to have to put a couple of signals here. No, not there. That's on the wrong side. Get off. A couple of signals there. Hopefully the express non-stopping services won't be held up at signals. It should just let the express service go before the stopping service. And again, we just want another signal on there. Before I do anything else, I'm going to make sure these terminals are on the right platform. Now it's complaining at me for some reason, not quite sure why, but that wants to be on 3. Yeah, they're all on 3. No, you want to be 11. I'm guessing actually we might just need to use the line tool for this, I think, just to make sure. So the LNER, yeah, so number 11 wants to be on 1. Good. We've got the Leeds, Grantham's also stopping at Retford, is it? No, that's just going straight through. Doncaster, Retford 5 wants to be on 3, which I think it already is. Are you stopping at Grantham? No, you're straight through as well. You stopping at Retford? You are, so you want to be on platform number 1. Good. And then we've just got the Grand Central and the Leeds Grantham not stopping at Retford. So they can go straight through the middle, which they are doing, and bypass those, so they're not being held up by the stopping services. So yeah, this all looks a little bit rubbish, to be honest, but it is, is that? Yeah, I think that's about as shallow. I think if we went any shallower than that, it probably would be, so you wouldn't be able to get it underneath there, so I'm going to have to do some work around here. But I think if we get a road in, I'm hoping this is sort of walking distance for people from this station to that. Now that don't want to be underground, I want you to be level with that. Now let me just put a curve in to there. Now I reckon that should be kind of walking distance for passengers making changing services onto the East Coast Main Line. That should be alright, and then just a bit of a road up to there. Now what I will do is I will build something around here just to try and encourage some development around the station, bring that road up, and that all looks fine to me. Now this station here, the only thing is, I think I will configure this. So I'll get rid of those sections there. Can I get rid of track without getting rid of the platform? I can, but I've left the track in. This is why I've been hesitant to change the third rail tracks, which have kind of defaulted to third rail, because when you go to put the track in, if you delete the track and then go to put it back in, it won't let you, so you've got to delete the track which leads into the station. And obviously I've gone to all the effort of creating all the junctions and things, and I guess it's not the end of the world, but it just kind of puts me off wanting to change those tracks over. And we are getting towards the end of this series now, and it's not the end of the world, is it, having some of the tracks a bit wrong. So what we want, just want blanks, that's all I wanted. Nope, that's definitely not blank, that's brown. Blank, like that. Pretty sure it's definitely not electrified. And then let's just double check we can get the track underneath here. Catenary, no. So that's underneath the East Coast Main Line like that, and then this heads off, not in a tunnel though, that's a bit excessive. And having said that, is there a little bit, yeah, there is a big bulge in the terrain, that's why it wants a tunnel. And what I want to do is, that's Mansfield, I'm going to have to skirt it, I think, no, don't want to do too much demolition if I can help it, because I don't want to have to rebuild Retford. So if we skirt around the bottom of it there, get rid of that road, and then hopefully we're coming up to the surface about then. 100 will be fine, it'll just be some DMU of some description, won't it? And then I've already got all the junctions in, we did that a few episodes back. Can I just go straight into there? No, we can't. What I'm going to do, actually, no I'm not, I'm going to build it piece by piece, because that should be relatively flat. It's not, there are no huge structures around here, I don't think. It should be a relatively flat part of the world, so we'll do it bit by bit and then just see. Now if we do it in the right sort of direction, that might also help. That's completely pointing in the wrong direction. Let's see what it says now. Is it still trying to do a big viaduct? Yeah, we'll just do that and then I'll sort the terrain out later. Really don't think there are any big structures on this particular railway, so that's in there. And then Gainsborough. Let's just take a quick look at Gainsborough. Let's have a look. Carborough Junction, which goes off to Saxelby, and then it goes up. So you've got Gainsborough Lee Road. Is that a curved station, or is that? Yes, it is. It's a curved station on the edge of Gainsborough, and then that goes into Lincoln Central, and then you've got Gainsborough Central as well. So we'll have to do a little bit of demolition of Gainsborough as well, just to make sure it is a bit more central. Now, up until last year, Gainsborough Central didn't have a service. I think it had a Saturday service only, and it took campaigning for a long time for services to actually be put in. Blue passenger building, even though you go small passenger building, it still ends up with a big one. So I'll do 160 because it's only a regional. High speed catenary, no. See, that's the odd thing, you can do high speed tracks without catenary, but as soon as you put catenary on, it tries to do third rail. but it's not the end of the world. I think this station actually does want to be a bit further away, and then we'll have Central here, which, yeah, it got a service in 2019 from, actually starting from Central. I think it does obviously call, where does it call? I'm sure it must have to call Lee Road as well, does it? I had the page up, and then I got rid of the research that I was doing because I wasn't sure, because it has to go through Lee Road, so I guess it'd make sense to... Oh no, it doesn't. I'm being... No, just no. It can't do. Right, because I'm building Lee Road completely wrong. It is a curved station, and so if we point it in that sort of... It's going to have to be miles away from Gainsborough, actually, so it is going to have a shuttle bus like that. Yeah, so Gainsborough Central, it took years of lobbying for it to have a decent service, and through the week service, and then COVID comes along and ruins that because the service has been taken off, unfortunately, which isn't good. But yeah, the service commences at Gainsborough Central, and I think on a Saturday it goes through to Cleethorpes, perhaps. Well, it did do until the service was taken off. So I think we'll put a switch in there, and then we'll have services calling on this platform and turning round. Yeah, because for some reason I thought Lee Road was like on the same track, but it's not, is it? It bends off. So if we just put a junction in there, and then we're going to have to put a road bridge in and a bus service, just make sure that's not glitching, that's all fine. Don't want any ballast or track clipping through, and then just chuck that into there like that, and then that goes off, does almost like a 90-degree turn because it is a curved station, into Lincoln. Get rid of that road and then chuck that in like that, and then hopefully if we just get this little bit that I've already built, I can get up again. There is no tunnel, I don't think. It should all be flat. It's just because of the scaling issues with using real world terrain data, unfortunately. But yeah, I'll smooth that off later. But yeah, Central's going to have a service into, so we go new line, so Gainsborough Central, and then Retford low level, and then into Sheffield, and then back again, upper Retford. Good. And then it's no big issue then, just to build the line down to Lincoln. Lincoln hasn't been connected to anything yet. That needs to be connected up to that Newark Flat crossing, I think. But that's connected up. I'm going to have to do a lot of work with regards to roads. Now getting across here is going to be tricky, trying to cross the track. But we do want to put some junctions in before we do anything else. One way, yeah, that's all fine. A couple of junctions there. Yeah, now the only thing I'm querying, I think there's a Lincoln to Gainsborough Lee Road via Retford and Sheffield, and there's also a Central. Now I'm just querying if that service to Lincoln is still running, or was, let's go back to 2019, if both services were running. That's what I'm trying to get at. So if the Central and the Lincoln via Lee Road were both running to Sheffield, because it's almost like a duplicate service, but I'm pretty sure it's in place. It's getting quite tricky researching routes because obviously COVID has completely changed the face of the rail timetable. So any routes, normally what I'll do is I'll go on to the National Rail Inquiries Departure Board to do my research and find the routes, because although the service diagram maps are of some use, they don't always tell you all the calling points and things like that. So it is tricky enough doing the research as it is, but COVID's just made things even more tricky. Now there is this line up here from Central up to Barnetby here, and I've already put that junction in. I don't know where that junction's supposed to be going, or is that just... I've got 3 junctions here now. Am I supposed to have 3? Yeah, so there's the Scunthorpe, and then, yeah, not quite sure why I put those in there, because there is just... Let's just take a look at the map. I've got the Open Rail map up. I must have done it for... Yeah, so you've got Barnetby, Brigg, Gainsborough Central, and then you've got Barnetby, Market Raisin down into Lincoln Central, so that... I am right in putting that there, but like I said before, the Central to Cleethorpes is only on a Saturday, so I don't know if I will put that in place, or should I? Considering the service isn't in place at the minute anyway because of COVID, I may as well put that in as far as Harborough. Yeah, so I might actually put that service in anyway, even though it's not there in real life, just for the connectivity. Well, it is there, but it's only there on a Saturday. And then we've got this track here which comes down from Doncaster into does that come as well? What service would... I don't think there is a service on that. Not on my diagram anyway. No, oh yeah. Yeah, I'm just... so there's a... According to my map, there's a Doncaster Gainsborough Lee Road into Lincoln, and then there's also a Sheffield Retford Gainsborough Lee Road into Lincoln northern service, and then there's going to be a Gainsborough Central Retford Sheffield as well, I think. Possibly. But yeah, like I said, it's getting tricky trying to research what routes go where. Never mind, we've got that done anyway. I'm going to do all the roads off camera anyway, because that's not particularly interesting, is it, doing that road work, but that's there. That needs to be sorted out. Retford needs to be largely rebuilt, but at least we have that connection in now. So it's all starting to come together over this part of the world, because it has been neglected. We've just kind of got Lincoln to finish now, and Market Raisin as well. And then this, I think the East Coast is pretty much done, isn't it? Gould's connected, that's got a service. So we've only really got Barnaby down to Market Raisin into Gainsborough, and then Lincoln to do. And I think that's it. All I wanted to do was just, I think I'll put a couple of intermediate signals, put one here, one there, and then just another couple, because it will have two services on this. So you've got the Doncaster needs to be connected up somehow. Let's just double check, just build this junction before we finish. Yeah, so it's, let's get rid of that and then find where that switch is and go the opposite direction to where we want it to go, and then we put that branch in 60 miles per hour. I think that will more than suffice. And then if we come in with the switches, not the switches, the signals there, and then that just needs to link up. Again, we'll just probably do it as the crow flies, I think. Again, I don't think there's any tunnels, even though there's a big lump in the middle of the ground there, but never mind. And then just chuck that into there, sort that out later. That's all got junctions. I think I'll put an intermediate signal here, but it's only going to have one service operating on this particular branch. Well, that's all fine, that's fine. Good, so we've got quite a few connections in there. We just need to get down to Lincoln and we can put that service in, but I will put the central into, well, I've already done that, haven't I? We'll rename these correctly. Central, and then Gainsborough Lee Road, LEA Road, and this is just Retford, and then I think it's not Upper Retford, I'll just call it Retford LL, low level, even though in real life it's just one, down as one station. But oh yeah, oh damn, that's gonna make things tricky. Assets, put, so we need a 3 with a middle block position, put one on them on there, and then one of them on there, and then just put another. Oh, that's fine. It's, yeah, that's all right. I was wondering if it was going to let me do that, but it has, so that's all fine. Doesn't look too bad. It's glitching in a little bit there, but that's not the end of the world. I think I'll live with that. And then I'll just have to do some painting and whatnot around here, make that look a little bit nicer than it does. But we've got that in. That's good. That's all in place. Got the bypass lines in. A little bit more smoothing. Rebuild Retford, and this is done. I think. Is that the East Coast Main Line finished? Because we've done Newark. Let's just double check. So we've got Grantham, we rebuilt Grantham a while ago. Can't remember. I really can't think straight today. Don't know what's up with me. Right, so we've got Grantham anyway. Grantham's done. Retford's Newark is done. That was done a while ago with the flat crossing. Retford sorted. Doncaster we've done. Yeah, so I think the East Coast Main Line is actually finished as far as I can make out. Yeah, Selby, that's all finished. That's all fine. Got that there, which connects into Wakefield, I think, but I'm not sure if a service would actually use that anyway. But yeah, that is the East Coast Main Line finished. That's pretty good, pretty pleased with that, and everything is running just fine. So I'm going to leave it there for today, and I'm going to see where you're going. What are you? You're on 800 on a Zoomer, going up the East Coast Main Line, and I'm going to leave you with that and say until next time, bye bye.